Looking forward to catching up with this gentleman today. It's been a little minute since he's been on the show. It's always a great conversation. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line, I have L.A. Pone. What up, man?
What's happening, fam? What's going on, man?
And doing good. Can't complain. How's this year treating you so far, man?
Man, this year has been crazy. I ain't even gonna sit here and sugarcoat nothing. It's been crazy, but it's I'm still alive and things still flowing. Amen.
That's the main thing, man. That's the main thing. I definitely want to catch up a little bit about some of the hardships about exiting the system and coming out of jail and YA and prison and things like that. But before we do that, I want to kind of get back into knowing a little bit more about L.A. Pone, a young L.A. Pone, and touch on some stuff that we didn't really get to touch on too much in our last interview. Let's go all the way back, man. I know you moved around a lot. You moved, Charlottesville, Lynchburg, Tennessee, Miramar, Florida, Hollywood, Lancaster. You've been all around, man. How did that affect you moving around so much as a kid?
Man, it affected me to the point where if I became your friend, oh man, you was my family. And when I say that, like I told y'all how before I came to Cali, like my 7th grade, man, I was all over the place, and domestic violence situation, and my mother moved to Miramar, Fort Lauderdale, when I was in the 7th grade. That was the first move where me and her ran down there, and I met a cat, man, Didier, and another cat named Chad. And we was like, that was in the era where Third Base had came out with that song Gas Face.
Oh, yeah.
That was also it was also in the era I walked out of school one day, man, and 2 Live Crew, he had just remember when he got the band in USA, he had walked out of Miami Court.
The USA.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I lived down there during that era. But the school I went with, man, was full of Haitians. I went to Perry Middle School. And I'm saying me and Didier and Chad, we would walk home after school, play ball. These were my dogs, man. I stayed down there for almost a year. Shoot, man, we was like brothers. And everywhere I moved, when I also moved, like I said, when I moved out to LA, man, I started catting my complex, little DeAndre, rest in peace, little Rob, and Green Dog, Sean. Sean, they call him Baby Toe Malone today, but there's so many politics. My neighborhood ain't nothing what it used to be. It's like we don't even I ain't gonna say don't exist, but the old heads, man, is just we just guidance and stories. We don't get into nothing no more. The politics, it's going on out there now. But yeah, man, them was my dogs. I mean, so that's what moving around got me to the point where, because I came from a big family in Virginia, but when you don't have your family around you no more, man, you that type, that you got your big cousins and your cousins, and you used to that, and you end up getting. That's how people don't understand the aspects of when people get join gangs, and they go hard for these gangs, and they do what they will do for these gangs. Man, gangs is the closest things a lot of us had. All my family was on the East Coast, except for a couple. My sister, in Marines, and but man, shoot, you make your family. You make your family. I'm one of them people. I don't say that blood is thicker than water. I don't say that because a lot of them old sayings, Dusty, I'm starting to learn. They were just that. They were old sayings, like. Cause you live and you learn, man, and you learn that I'm gonna tell you I'm gonna tell you this too. When people say they say what's that they say when you in love? If you love something enough, leave it alone. It'll come back. You feel me? Nah, that's some bullshit, right? if you love something enough, man, you better go and get it while you can. Shit. You better try. Yeah, you better keep pursuing, because the moment you back off, then wolves gonna come in, and that's gonna throw more shit on the game. But I had to learn that the hard way. I had to learn that, give a motherfucker some space, give them a time pass, and time just passed. But yeah, so the relationships that I built, oh man, I got some friends that's doing some time. I got some friends that's gone, and they family. But all these. We're not blood related, but all these are my dogs. You talking about New York to Washington, D.C. to Chicago to Tennessee, I mean, good friends. Mississippi, a whole lot of good friends because I lived down there for a long time. Yeah, in Cali, of course. But I got to give it, I tried to, because of the way that I feel about these cats, I try to stay in touch, whether on Facebook or not, or thank God for that Facebook shit. But I try to, find out where they are, touch bases. Told you a Marvell Ballard from Block Crip. We grew up together in YA. Me and him talk all the time. That was my dog. I keep in touch with Lil Sean from my old neighborhood, but they family. Mobile, from Waterfront. Me and him talk every blue moon. Me and him talk. But I always felt that way, and it was a bond that we had that we got on Nellis, man. I mean, it wasn't like Sealmore. It wasn't like nothing else. It just like that bond that we got us. That people who did time on Adams Cottage when I was there, and in that era. Excuse me, a lot of shot callers came from that era, man. A lot of ride or dies came from that era. A lot of niggas with good hearts came from that era. Tutu from Bounty Hunters. He took care of his neighborhood. When I say took care of his neighborhood, he took care of his neighborhood. Cash Jones, like I said, he came from that era, and he wasn't really, he just, his arrogance fucked him up, but Cash he came Jones from that era. A lot of good.
Is WACK100, right?
Yeah, WACK100. Yeah.
Just
a lot of good cats. Yeah. Cause but like I said, I done hit him on Instagram a couple times, and the nigga don't look back. And Dusty, I don't know how I'd be with $1 million, man. I don't know how I would be, but shoot, man, you can't just give everybody no chance because your ass to go broke. So I feel what he doing. You just better be careful out there, because of the rap game now is dangerous.
Is he the same Cash Jones that you remember back then? I've heard people say the same exact dude in 2023 is the same guy that was back in 1997 or whatever. Was that what you remember?
That's the exact look, that's the exact same nigga that I met. Look, when me and him B Red was on Central, about to jump off a little punk ass ride. He's on Power Route. He say Pyru the same way today. All right, you talk to him, he was saying, because I told him, I said, look, man, I gave him this album, this whole R&B album that I did that's on YouTube, and I said, man, look, push this music, let's get this new sound. And he told me straight up, it just like the old Cash, He said, man, it ain't time for the old people, man. He said, old people, if you ain't 21 or younger getting this money, then it ain't no room for us unless we already established it. He kept it 100 with me, and that's what I respected. But yeah, that's him. He's still the same goddamn. I hear when he be talking on these podcasts, because I just be keeping up with him, man, because he is the same exact nigga I knew from years ago. He just got money now. That's how it be. They just get money,
Yeah.
I'm happy for him, for real. I'm happy for him. But like I said, I don't like the fact that he can't let go from like the bullshit is chasing him. It's chasing him. And you know how that shit catches up. It has a tendency to catch up with you.
Yeah, when he make a certain amount of money, you're saying he should lay low a little bit, maybe not be so out there.
Yeah,